It's a really bad view, but it's lights out and away we go as Dooku gets a brilliant start, but there we have Quickie just right behind him, following him into turn 1. Let's have a look at how the drivers are coping as Alfie goes into the track inside there a little bit, but Dan going off as well, giving Xander the place to P3. So in the back we see a few drivers there ahead of another, but it doesn't seem as if there has been any huge collision. So very cleanly through to turn 4, as we see in the background a few drivers touching one another, and it seems that it was Luis who has lost his front wing. So not a great start for him, but a brilliant start for the Ferrari driver of Dooku, who is now leading the Grand Prix ahead of the Alfa Romeo driver of Quickie and Xander. In the background we see yellow flags and some debris, and we have a visual safety car, a VSC. It seems that Jack, the Aston Martin driver, has retired sadly at the end of lap 1. So a few battles going on already, as we see the Alpine there getting out of shape, but it seems everything is fine as of yet. They are very close now, so this is gonna be an interesting choice. Is Quickie gonna try it down the inside in turn 1? He was thinking about it, but he's deciding to stay right behind him and push and try to help him, maybe make a mistake so he can squeeze through, but it seems like he just has to stay in P2 just now. Xander now also right behind the Alfa Romeo driver, trying something but not really working. So let's have a brilliant look at that battle. 3 drivers going next to each other into the last corner there. Let's have a look. How is it gonna go? It's Dan who wins in that little battle of the 3 drivers, who's now into P2. Xander right behind him in P3. Right behind him with a DRS open. Is he gonna try it into turn 1? Yes, he is! Xander is sending it down into turn 1, now sadly getting pushed a bit off. So the Alpine driver TJ just getting through there. Xander now falling back a bit more. Brenton trying to somehow get in it as well. At P5, he really wants that position. He's trying and he's done it. He's ahead of TJ. But keep in mind, now the DRS zone is coming up. So TJ might have an advantage if he has DRS. It seems like he does because Brenton doesn't. But he lost a lot of time. Now the Mercedes driver behind him trying his best, but he's just staying behind the Alpine driver. Mercedes driver of Lucid is right behind. No, he's not right behind. He's right ahead of the Alpine of TJ. Brilliant move to the end of the race. So all you can do is push and just trying to overtake, as he is right now going for the inside move into turn 1. It seems they're staying clean. Ooh, just a short moment there for the Haas driver, sliding a little bit, but keeping it on the track partly, so he is fine. He's in the gravels. His tires are fine as well. He just has to be careful not to I would gonna say it, and he's done it now. He went for another inside move. It was way too late for him, and he hit the Mercedes driver of Lucid. Now battling out with a Lucid just now going on the left side of the Alpine driver and doing a brilliant move, being a bit faster, and now into turn 4 and 5 being ahead of him. Happened to have passed another driver currently on track, having a brilliant battle we can see is Dan and Xander. Lucid and had in the background. There is Xander going for a brilliant move into turn 4 with Dan just right behind him into turn 5 on hard. So Dooku has medium tires, Quickie has hard tires, and he's going just ahead of Dooku into turn 1. Just a slight moment there of Dooku hitting the red tire of Quickie, but we have a new race leader there. You can see him, number 7 in the Alfa Romeo. And out of nowhere, we just get a safety car. Race leader at the start of the Grand Prix, and for the most time of the Grand Prix, is losing out a lot of time now falling down to P8. So that was a horrible start for him. I'm not too sure what happened there. The Haas and the AlphaTauri there battling it out at Parabolica, but it's the AlphaTauri of Harry just ahead of Brandon. So they're now fighting very close and next to each other, but Brandon is able to just stay ahead. Who's gonna break later? Because this is very important. It's Harry who's managing in the chicane to just keep next to Brandon, but Brandon has a better exit out of turn 2 and now has finally made it. He is ahead of the AlphaTauri driver of Harry, but Dooku is saying, you know what, you're so close, let me try and overtake you as well. And he is trying, and he did. He's now side by side with Brandon and was able to overtake the AlphaTauri driver. So Dooku is now ahead in P6. We just saw a brief moment as we get another safety car. There was a collision between 2 or 3 drivers, but Quickie is already trying to go for the move on the of the AlphaTauri driver of Dan, and he is ahead now into turn 1, but Dooku also diving down into the inside of the Alfa Romeo driver, and they're all going side by side, very, very close to each other. Just Xander dropping down there a little bit, Paz flying again, and there's a massive crash. 3 drivers retiring just after another safety car restart. What is happening? MMF1 already capitalizing, overtaking the other drivers. Maybe it was a mistake because he's now letting them pass again. It did seem a bit weird that he was that quick. Brandon and Dan now going side by side into turn 2. But Dan is able, even though he has all the tires, to stay ahead of the Haas driver and overtake him as he has to cut the corner. He did not receive a penalty, not that we were able to see. So he also needs to somehow find the time and space to somehow get ahead of them, but it seems like it's not working out because Brandon now has overtook him as well. Dooku still in P3, Xander also dropping down a little bit as well. How close to Dooku, they're going 4 drivers side by side almost. Currently it's 3 drivers, now there is a 4th one coming. Let's see how this is playing out. It's playing out really nice indeed, because Brandon is still ahead. Dooku is now on P2, but remind yourself, he doesn't have any penalties. He is only 5 tenths behind in new soft tires. 2 laps to go. Then we have DRS. DRS is enabled, but not this time around because the DRS zone was way ahead, and they missed it because DRS wasn't ahead on. But Dooku is going for the race leading overtaking move, and he is ahead of Brandon, but they're still battling it out now in Curva Grande. So let's see who's able to stay ahead. It's Dooku, still ahead of Quickie. Quickie trying, just looking around there, but he's just staying behind. So Brandon just hanging on there in P2. Actually, never mind that. Scratch that. Quickie is now in P2. Somehow, whatsoever, Dooku had a moment, and Quickie is now in the lead. So this is the final lap, and Quickie is currently the new race leader. And he's now moving back. I'm not sure what happened there, but Quickie just let Dooku pass again. Maybe it was some sort of illegal overtake, or he had a moment himself. He's getting closer and closer after getting pole positions in the home Grand Prix. It's Dooku ahead of Quickie, who wins the Italian Grand Prix in Monza.